Greetings, viewers. This is Barry Lohman of Team Hall Nass, and sitting here next to my lovely compadre, Jennifer. You may also, of course, know us as Johnny Hall and Taylor Nass of the Team Hall Nass rally team. Bringing you a bit of an exclusive today. We are actually here at CES, a Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, and we are sitting inside of the Chevrolet Volt. We're the only non-GM people that have been allowed inside of this car, and we're very, very grateful to General Motors for letting us sit in the thing. Obviously, we're not going to get to start up. We're not going to get to drive it today. Interestingly enough, had we had opportunity to go to Los Angeles, unfortunately, we just couldn't get down there at the time. A couple weeks ago at the LA Auto Show, this is the actual Volt that was there, and that some very, very lucky members of the automotive press were able to go out and drive around the parking lot. So we're not the first ones inside, so it's not truly an exclusive, but it's exclusive coming from CES. So there you go. So we're trying to be cool. It never works though when we try. So just back to normal reality. Chevrolet Volt 2011. Obviously this is still a pre-production model that we're sitting in, but the car is absolutely gorgeous. You know, a lot of you guys know that we are more the power end of the automotive world. We're more about the Corvettes and the Camaros and all of the wonderful things that will go fast. Trying to just keep it GM here since we're talking about the Volt. But this particular car, I mean, it's no secret for those of you that follow us on Twitter, I've been very, very excited about this car. I cannot wait to get my hands on this thing, more so than the moment where I can actually drive it and we can get out and test drive it and get a review up for you guys. This car is, it truly is groundbreaking. For those of you who remember and maybe been sad about the EV1 experiment going away, this will relight your candle. This is bringing hope back to the legions out there. General Motors is real about this green movement, and rather than just do, you know, another Prius type of hybrid, this car's still not a Prius. To start with, I mean, the Prius is not an attractive car. Sorry, Toyota, but it's not. I mean, we're on the third generation of it now, and it just keeps getting worse in the looks department. This car is not a car that you're going to drive, you know, in certain modes at certain speeds on the battery and in other modes on the gasoline engine. The thing I love about this car is on a full charge for the first 40 miles, you're on battery. Most of you out there, I mean, if you're really honest with yourself, you sit down and think about it, most of you don't drive more than 40 miles in a day. Most of us don't have a 40-mile commute, or at least more than a 40-mile commute in one direction. And of course, not everybody gets to plug in while they're at work, and we're lucky enough to both work out of the house, so we're perfect for this car. We just run to the grocery store or whatever in it. But I love this car because, like I said, you can go the first 40 miles purely on the lithium-ion battery pack. The lithium-ion battery pack is actually similar in design, though obviously it's lithium-ion. It's different than the battery pack that was in the EV1, but it's similar in design, but they've obviously advanced the type of battery pack that it is, as well as they've lowered it a little bit. It's a lower center of gravity in the car. When we actually get to drive it, we'll be able to give you our impression of how it actually translates into feel. Having been inside of a Prius and also been inside of the Civic hybrid, those cars just feel off balance. They just, when you drive, you get in a Civic, it doesn't even have to be the SI, you get in a regular Civic, and then you jump out of that and you jump right into a Civic hybrid, and it feels like a completely different car. The car doesn't handle well. It just, the center of gravity is all off in the car. You know, the chief technology officer for the Volt project at General Motors, actually, we were lucky enough to talk to him here in person a couple of days ago, right here in front of the car, and he told me about the battery pack, and he was telling us, you know, the changes that they made and how it really translates, you know, to real world feel on the road. So you can go the first 40 miles on the battery if it's fully charged. Then the 4-cylinder, 1 liter, yes, it's a very small engine, out under the hood, kicks in only if you run the battery down below a certain percentage level. And it's a variable algorithm that's running in there, but I think it's roughly translates to about down around 20% of battery capacity. Then it'll kick in and run at a constant RPM based on conditions, based on how far the battery's down. The RPM can be a different RPM for different conditions, but it doesn't, like in a normal car where you're running up and down the range on the tack and you're burning up gas, you know, by fluctuating, the amount of revolutions per minute that the engine has to turn. In this car, it senses what the need is to charge, and then it actually will set that predetermined RPM and run constant for that particular length of time to charge the battery back up. If you never want to burn a drop of gasoline, then put it on a full charge at the house. You can charge it on 120 volt, or you can go for 220 and charge it in half the time, is my understanding. It's actually plugged into a 120 right now. Somewhere between 110 and 120. It's always a variable. That's one of those mind bogglers. But regardless, you plug it in, you drive it, you plug it in where your destination is, or plug it in when you get back home. And if your goal is truly to never use another drop of gasoline in your life, or at least in the lifetime of owning a Volt, you can accomplish that goal. So for those of you in the green movement, and even though we're, for I don't even call it semi-professional. We're just goofballs that like to go fast. But we take the safety end of it seriously. But we like to go fast. You wouldn't think that we're into the green movement or saving fuel, but of course, I've gone on record several times with the fuel economy, the LS engines, and the C6 Corvette in particular is just phenomenal. We can get better gas mileage going 50 miles an hour faster average in a Corvette than anybody can get in a Camry, which explain that. But at any rate, the Chevy Volt, I mean, I'm so excited. I'm almost tongue twisted up here. 3 days of CES will do that to you as well. But I'm so excited about this car. I'm excited about the technology behind this car. I'm excited about the potential of this car in the market. GM has talked previously about hoping to come in at under a $40K price point. And then there's been little rumblings of maybe a surprise on that. So who knows? Maybe it'll come in around 30 or 32. That would be awesome. But I tell you what, if you don't know about the Volt, or if you are thinking, the Volt, what's the big deal? It's another hybrid. It's not. I'm telling you. If you don't get charged up, pun intended, when you're around this car, then maybe the green movement's just not for you. But it's coming anyway. It's alive. It's real. We're excited about it. We are very thankful again to General Motors to be able to get into this car and to bring you this broadcast, from CES, and we can't wait to drive it. And what else can I say? And can I say "and" a few more times, or
Let's point out a few things that are interesting in here. We can't turn it on like we said, but there's some cool things that we could. All right,
so now we're gonna go freestyle here. So get ready to get dizzy. Woo, Blair Witch! And we're gonna move the camera around here, and we're gonna show you. And there is the lovely Jennifer. And
okay, one thing I have just discovered, because I like little cubbies in the car. Look at this. Little cubby back here.
Pass through back behind the console. There's a shelf, if you can see right here. Again, folks, this is pre-production, but there is a right back here behind the shifter, and this
is this thing. Again, look at this interesting shifter.
Isn't that cool? Shifter right there. Automatic. Of course, you've got this giant. So when you're sitting somewhere, you've got this giant storage area additional.
And look at these great cup holders.
You've got great cup holders, which
grippies
are not showing up so well in the black light.
Oh dear.
But then we've got a center console. Nice
cubby.
It's your typical GM center console, but it's nice. It's deep. Look into the back. We're
getting a little blurry here. Let's give it a chance to.
The light to adjust.
There we go.
We've got a center console stack here with dual cup holders. We've got an accessory power outlet back here as well. It's funny. I didn't see an accessory power outlet here in the front, but I'm sure that there's.
Well, like you said.
There's one down here inside of the console.
Okay.
There's one right here. There's one right here.
You got
plug
two
your gadgets in.
Comfy looking seats.
Some nice bucket seats in the back seat.
In the back. How great is that?
And then, of course, it is a hatch. And he's got the spare tire well in the back.
We will show you here in our part 2 what it looks like from the outside. It looks like a car. This is what Barry was saying about the Prius. The Prius, not so pretty. The Volt, actually pretty. Volt.
Although when you do look to the back, I gotta admit, with the hatch, it can kind of seem Prius-esque. Only slightly because there's a hatch, but not really. I mean, when you look at the...
No, it just looks like you've got a moonroof.
I mean, again, the fit and finish on this car, this is pre-production. I mean, this isn't a mule, but it's still a pre-production version. It's very close to what the final product's probably going to be. But if you look at the back window, another cool feature, you see down at the bottom, reminiscent of the old Honda CRX. You got the little back window below the back window, the flat on the back, and it's dark tinted, so of course it appears black on the back, but it's a nice, cool feature. And
coming around here to the front, look at this interesting instrument unit. I know we were focused on the shifter, but look at this.
Yeah, check out the center stack. I mean, it's laid out very well. It's you know, the dials are sort of, I don't even want to compare it to the BMW iDrive, but just the shape of them, you know, reminiscent of the big dial you got back there, but easier to use, I'm sure. Like I said, we haven't got a chance to light it up and try these things out, but you've got, you know, your start stop button right here. It looks like a parking brake release right there, perhaps.
Here's a start stop. Sorry, I was looking at something else.
Parking brake release.
Yeah.
You've got your power lock on and off there. Of course, you got your CD player. And the nav system's up here in the top. I assume it'll be push button control. Again, I'm speculating here. There's a green mode and a sport mode here. And you know, there's additional information, you know, go to GM about that online. I'd have to speculate what it's going to finally translate to in the end. I would assume, you know, more of a sport performance mode for the shifting. I don't know if it'll actually dial up more power, you know, through the electrics in the car, through your electrical motor or not. But yeah, look at the HVAC controls, and I mean, there's no doubt you're inside of a General Motors car. And there's no doubt that you're inside of a mid-price point car, but at the same time, it looks sort of futuristic, but not like show car futuristic. It's a real world car for today, and
you've got to take a look at these door panels.
Yeah, these door panels are kind of trick. They're kind of cool. I doubt that that'll see the actual production. You know, they'll probably go with something more traditional, but yeah, just a fun little, you know, jazzed up little graphic look on there. I mean, some of you might not like it, but it's okay. There's plenty of you out there that will. The dash pads up here.
Yeah, what are those for?
These are kind of crazy, or kind of trick. I mean, it's just a styling cue, but you've got kind of that traditional, you know, GM style dash headed up this way, and then, bam, they've got these pads slapped on top, and they've got a little bit of.
Are they to reflect the heat or something?
You know what? They might be. They might be to kind of take that shine that you get off of the dash. And then there's the sensor up there in the front, and you've got the defogger. I always call it the defogger. You're trying to get the frogs out of your car. You've got the upper. I'm getting tongue tied. Well, so you've got your upper controls up here. Of course, you've got OnStar. You've got your 3-button remote link. Very standard GM stuff. You've got your buttons to turn the lights on and off. Of course, we've got all this turned off right now so that we don't set the alarm off in the car, so we can be in here.
But it's got OnStar.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Of course it's got OnStar.
Not just for the Cadillac.
Not just for the Cadillac or the Corvette. It's OnStar for everybody. Looking out for you.
Over here, again, we can't show you what the
yeah, unfortunately we can't light it up right now, but and I'd like to point out the steering wheel.
It's cool. The
steering wheel's cool. It's like a leatherette, if you will, wrapped right now. Again, it's pre-production, so it's really hard to talk about what's going to turn out like, but you know, I mean, this is plastic, but it's a cool,
it doesn't look like
it's a metallic sparkly. It's got a nice metallic finish on it. It almost looks like a pearl white, like a pearlescent white. It's kind of reminiscent of the Cadillac.
Smooth.
Yeah, the center's like this, and around the gauge cluster as well. So we know that I'm a good sized guy. I'm not a small boy. We fit in the Corvette pretty well, but look here. I've got plenty of room in the vault. Got nice leg room. I've got the seat back.
And that's your tallest part.
Yeah,
You're 6'4", and it's all legs.
Most of my length is in my legs, you know. It's not like I've got a short torso. Well, maybe a wide torso, but not a short one. But if you check that out, we've got decent leg room in the car. So, like I said, there's just not enough adjectives to describe how excited I am about the Chevy Volt. The Chevrolet Volt. I mean, this is a step in a bold new step in a new direction. It's something to get charged up about. Alrighty, again, this is Barry Lohman and Jennifer and of Team Hall Nass, and we thank you for taking the time to watch us, and we hope that you're as excited about the Chevy Volt as we are.